In a society where education is neglected by some and social justice challenges continue to persist, the work for empowering youth and advocacy for equity becomes essential. I am Maimuna Isa and this is Naija Education TV. With me today is an icon, a lawyer, an educator, an advocate for justice, and the founder of Principal Legal Consults. She is committed to addressing these issues head-on, believing that change is possible. It starts with giving opportunities and giving a voice to those who need the most. And she is Barrister Prada Uzodimma.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor to be having this conversation with you and exploring how your experiences and passion align with this mission. So, Barrister Prada, your journey feels like a story, to be very honest, from courtroom battles to inspiring classrooms. Could you tell us how it all started? What lit your fire in education, and why do you feel like education isn't just a pathway, but the very heartbeat for Nigeria's growth?
I think for me, growing up, I come from a family where education has always been very important. Not just to my family, but also as a learned individual today, I've seen that majority of Nigerians' problems come from a lack of good quality and sound education. So I think that gap is something that needs to be filled. And I, on my own part, I'm doing what I can to fill that gap, which is something that we've done through the Prada Uzodimma Law School Scholarship Grant, which was to create or to give opportunities to indigent aspiring lawyers or indigent aspiring students to become lawyers. So that for me is my own way of filling the education gap, because we have passionate young, talented individuals that want to become lawyers but are denied these opportunities because of lack of funding. So it was very essential that Principal Legal Consult partnered with me to create the Prada Uzodimma Law School Scholarship Grant, which we call PUSG, to fill this education gap. And I think we're just doing our own tiny bit by sponsoring these students.
You are really appreciated. So about that, you have built such an incredible empire, bringing law and empowering students together. So I believe everything has a purpose. So was it all planned, or did it just happen in between that you just thought, okay, I'm going to be combining legal advocacy with empowering students? Did it start from the beginning, or was it something that you just thought that, okay, let's do this?
Sorry. I think for me, I experienced the Nigerian law school. I'm a lawyer myself. So in 2019, I was in the Nigerian law school and I was preparing to be called to the bar. And what happened was, that same year, we had to raise some funds to see some of our own colleagues through the Nigerian law school. And then I realized that not only did this affect the people that we were able to raise funds for, but this is a general problem, not only in the Nigerian law school, but in different universities here in Nigeria. So I think that was what piqued my interest. And I said to myself, if only I could give up maybe a couple of my wants, be it lunch with friends or brunches with friends, perhaps I would be able to sponsor, even if it was just one law student. So when I eventually called to the bar in 2019 and I practiced for a year plus, and I founded Principal Legal Consult, I thought it was very essential to, as a way of giving back, to be able to extend that arm to aspiring students that want to become lawyers. And I think that's what actually bettered the Prada Uzodimma Law Scholarship Grant. I, having walked through those shoes and seeing how difficult it was for some of my colleagues, I didn't want other people coming after me to experience that same, I'm passionate about this and I want to become a lawyer, but I can't, purely because of finances. So I think that need or that situation was something that I felt that I could fix, or a gap that I felt I could bridge, and I think that's what gave birth to the Prada Uzodimma Law Scholarship Grant.
That's very interesting. That also shows you that it's all about determination, consistency, and precision. You just have to put your mind to it. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says
Nothing is
impossible. So that's worth an applaud. So on that, our upcoming debates, the inter-school, secondary school debates, I feel like debates aren't just about winning trophies. It's about building confidence, public speaking, sparking minds. So how would you encourage Nigerians to see the side of debating as not just debating, coming to argue, but as something that's bigger and that goes way beyond?
I sat with you and I think we spoke shortly before this interview, right? I asked you what did you want to do when you grow up, and you shared with me a couple of things, right? And you sat here and you're sharing this conversation, and I told you 2 minutes ago that you should add this to your list of things. So I think determination is very important. But the thing we're debating is it's not about win or lose, like you've said. It's about the skills that you gain or what you garnish while debating. Even reading on a particular topic, the knowledge that you pick up while reading on that topic. So I think with Nigerians, we are known for overcoming, right? And I think debate helps you overcome either it be fear, either it be lack of knowledge, but just talking about something that you're passionate in and leading that conversation to the end, and also being able to convince other people, let them see the importance of your own point of view. And I think if more people in Nigeria listen to the other points of view of other people that have even lived before them, perhaps Nigeria would not be where it is today. So I think debating is very important, not only for the youth, but even for adults to be able to have the mindset to listen to other sides of the conversation, right?
Fair enough, thank you. So for many students, especially in rural areas, they have this mindset whereby debate is an extra optional activity. How would you flip that mindset for them? Probably because they're not exposed, but they have this mindset that debating isn't a big deal, but however, it goes a long way. What would you say, or like an example, real life example that would, change that perspective based off your perspective?
I wouldn't particularly blame them. I think it's how they were introduced to debate. You see that in most schools here in Nigeria, debate is actually introduced as an extracurricular activity. If it was something that was embedded in our curriculums, perhaps that point of view would not be what they have. But I think debating doesn't even have to be in a club. It can be having a simple conversation about a piece of bread, right, or your favorite color, right? It's just an exchange of different opinions, right? So I think the moment you understand that every day you debate, you learn to see that debate isn't an extracurricular activity, but something that you do every day. Debate is just an organized format where this is held and timed, right? So I think for them, know that or understand that you debate every day. So debating should be about picking up new skills, learning new knowledge, and having an open mind to take somebody else's perspective, right? Because we can't all agree, but we can learn something off each other.
You play such a vital role in this project, the inter-school debate competition. How would you vision yourself, evolving this and making this platform bigger across Nigeria with who you stand today in Nigeria?
Well, I think aside, sharing the importance of debate with the students that I'll get to mentor during this platform, I think I'll also go a step further. Like I said, I'm currently pushing a bill, the Imo Digital Bill, through the House in Imo to advocate for inclusive digital skills at the state secondary school levels, and perhaps debate, right? Maybe debate should be something that should be part of our curriculum, since we know what the benefits of debating are, like increased confidence, and a broader mind, and taking on people's opinions, and also being able to defend your own opinion, right? We mustn't always agree, but certainly we can learn from each other.
Very true. And learning never ends. We learn every day. So you're about to receive an award, the debating education, as a debating education icon. So how would you describe this? Like, how do you feel about getting this recognition, and what would you say to the students? Like, if you were to meet them directly, what would you say to them to motivate them to do better and keep doing what they're doing?
I think growing up, I remember myself looking up to those that were actually in the debate club, because I thought that at that point in time, it took a lot of confidence to stand in front of a crowd and debate or air your own opinions. I always see this joke on social media where it says, if I'm a lawyer, I don't know how I'm going to stand in front of the court without crying while trying to debate, right? So I think to the students that are watching this interview, or maybe perhaps want to go into the legal space or go into spaces where they have to always defend their opinion, I think know that not everyone will agree with your opinion to start with, right? And you mustn't force everyone to agree with your opinion, right? But if you are able to convince yourself and convince a group of people as to why you think your opinion is yours, then that should be fine, right? So debating is not about winning. Like, I would just like to stand on that. It's not about winning. It's about how best do you feel you defended your opinion, and who else were you able to get on the side of your own opinion, right? So win or lose, whatever happens today, tomorrow, whatever competition that you go into, Did you make yourself proud? Were you open to listening to other opinions? And what did you achieve from that conversation? So to the students listening out there, it's not about winning or losing. It's about learning new ideas, being confident, and defending your opinion.
Thank you. If you had the opportunity to sit down with the Nigerian education policymakers, what bold change would you push for, especially to help students to develop communication skills, critical thinking, and public speaking?
A whole lot. I think I'll advocate for a whole lot of things. You see what I just said earlier about pushing for digital skills in Imo State. I would love that to be something that we can adopt on a federal level. You see, for example, students having gone through a Nigerian university studying computer engineering or computer skills, and they haven't ever seen a computer, or they don't even have basic skills in terms of Microsoft Word, Excel, and all of that. So I think aside our education system being inclusive for people with disabilities, which is one of the things that I'm also chairing through my foundation, the Ability Life Initiative, to accommodate children with disabilities in schools and in our general curriculum. I think also revamping the quality of education here in Nigeria, from helping Nigeria catch up with globalization by equipping our students with digital skills, to living the theory of things, to going into the practical, right? Why am I sat in a classroom learning the advantages of debate or the disadvantages of debate when I could be debating, right? So it's time that we leave theory and go into practice, right? Why are you teaching me about quadratic equations and not about taxes, right? When in reality, when I become an adult, I'm going to be paying taxes, not solving quadratic equations, right? So we need to, as a country, leave the theory of education and go into the practice of education. So I think this is an ongoing conversation in my own capacity, and hopefully when I do get the opportunity to meet some of the top policymakers, I can share this opinion and point of view with them.
Thank you very much. That's the sad reality, right? People don't get first-hand experiences of what they intend to do. Like, think of wanting to learn how to drive a car, but you're not getting behind the wheels. You're just scrolling through social media trying to see videos on how to navigate stuff instead of getting in the position and sitting to know how it's done physically, by yourself. Okay, thank you so much. With that, before we say goodbye, what's your personal message to young debaters and future leaders getting ready for the national finals in the debate? Something that will ignite their courage and remind them why their voices matters.
I know I've said that it's not always about winning, but it's good to win. I think winning is very important. It encourages you. You look at your plaque and you say to yourself, I did this, I won this. So it's good to win. It's good to try to win. It's good to do your best. But even if you don't win, did you participate? Did you learn something? Yes. So to everyone watching out there, to everyone involved in the competition, I'm looking forward to listening to all the debates. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, come winners, come losers, I'm just looking forward to good conversations, good energy, and I want to see passionate students that love debating, love experiencing opinions, and love giving their own point of view.
So is there a quote or a story that you could tell us from your experience, how it started? Probably something like, being in a dilemma, but at the end of the day, you succeeded. Something just to remember that, she's been through it. Everyone also goes through it. So even if it happens to you, you shouldn't be scared.
I think to the students that are probably watching from schools or from homes, I used to be the naughty kid in the class making noise, right? I wasn't always the perfect kid. I used to make a lot of noise, but I think what I had was a good teacher that saw beyond that noise at the back. So I think no matter what it is you're going through, either you're topping the charts in school or coming last right now, it's just school. Put in your effort, get the requirement, but I don't think your grades or winning or losing in secondary school or in junior secondary school determines where you're going to be tomorrow, right? Or I don't think that determines your future. So as long as you're giving it your best effort, you're putting in your effort, what you're going to be tomorrow isn't deterred by what you are today. And I think that's the passing message.
Sushi. Thank you so much for watching us. I remain Maimuna Isa. See you next time.
Hey Nigerians, are you ready to embark on an educational journey like no other? To expand your horizon, ignite your curiosity, and unleash your full potential beyond classroom? Welcome to Naija Education TV.
Wait, what is this all about? Naija Educational TV is not just a channel, it's an initiative brought to you by Bringing on Africa in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Education with a mission to provide inclusive and equitable quality education for all. Whether you're a student looking to enhance your learning or a parent concerned with what your ward watch, Naija Educational TV got you covered.
Dive into our fascinating shows like live debate, quiz, documentaries, and lots more, all aligned with the UNESCO agenda.
So why wait? Tune in to Naija Educational TV today by subscribing to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms to be entertained.